You ever get that feeling that a company you buy from just doesn't get you at all? Yeah, you're not alone. Today, we're going to dive into this massive disconnect between what businesses think they're delivering and what we as customers actually feel. It's a gap that's costing companies a fortune, and we're going to break down exactly how to fix it.
So, what's the real problem here? Well, it starts with this huge perception gap. Get this, a staggering 85% of companies are totally convinced they're providing personalized experiences. But when you ask their customers, only 60% agree. That 25-point gap isn't just a number, it's a black hole where loyalty, revenue, and trust go to die.
And look, that's not just me saying it. The source material for this explainer puts it perfectly. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm of missed opportunity. That's a powerful word, right? Chasm. It's a signal that the old ways of connecting with customers are just fundamentally broken.
Okay, so we've established there's this huge gap. But why? Why does it exist? Why are the old personalization playbooks that companies have poured millions into for years suddenly falling so flat? Let's dig into that right now.
Well, the gap exists because the very definition of personalization has completely changed. The old way? It was pretty simple, right? Using your first name in an email subject line, or maybe segmenting an audience by city. Honestly, that's just table stakes now. The new standard, hyper-personalization, is a whole different ballgame. It's dynamic. It uses real-time behavior to actually predict your needs and create a true one-to-one experience.
And you know who we can thank for this massive shift? The tech giants. A remarkable 69% of us now expect every single buying experience to be as intuitive and predictive as Amazon or Netflix. And that expectation? It doesn't just stay with our shopping or streaming lives. It follows us into every single interaction we have with any company.
And the consequences of failing to meet this new higher standard? They are severe. It's not just a neutral thing, it's actively damaging your brand. Over 60% of consumers will literally drop a brand for an impersonal experience. And 72%, almost 3/4 of people, won't even engage with a message unless it's tailored to them. The writing's on the wall: get personal or get ignored.
You know, when you boil it all down, this isn't really just a marketing problem. It's a trust problem. When a brand fails to use what it knows about you to make your experience better, it's screaming, loud and clear, we don't actually know you, and frankly, we don't care to. And that just shatters the foundation of any business relationship.
Okay, enough for the doom and gloom. That's the risk of getting it wrong. But what about the reward for getting it right? This is where things get really exciting, because the payoff for doing this well is absolutely massive.
Let's start with pure growth. It turns out the fastest growing companies out there have a secret weapon. They are masters of personalization. They generate a stunning 40% more of their revenue from it than their slower moving competitors. It's a direct line between knowing your customer and totally outpacing the market.
And you don't even have to overhaul your entire company to see these results. Just think about this for a second. Simply personalizing a single call to action button on a website can lead to a 202% better conversion rate. That's not an incremental improvement. That is a complete game changer.
And when you zoom out to the big picture, the impact is just as clear. Brands that truly commit to these strategies, that go all in, see an overall revenue lift between 6 and 10%. That's a direct, measurable boost to the top line that no executive on the planet can afford to ignore. So whether it's 122% higher ROI on your email marketing or making customers 60% more likely to become loyal, repeat buyers, the data is just overwhelming. Hyper-personalization isn't a cost center, it's a powerful, proven engine for serious growth.
So the business case is crystal clear. The numbers don't lie. But that brings up the big question, right? How do you actually build the engine to deliver this? Well, it all comes down to getting the right technology stack in place. The best way to think about the technology is to break it down into 3 layers. I love this analogy. Think of it like a human body. You've got the data foundation as the nervous system, the intelligence layer is the brain, and the activation layer is the hands that actually carry out the actions.
So, it all starts with the foundation, the nervous system. This is typically a customer data platform, or a CDP. Its only job is to break down all those data silos that exist in every organization and create one single, unified, 360-degree view of every single customer. Let me be clear. Without this, nothing else is possible.
Next up comes the brain. This is where the magic of AI and machine learning comes into play. This layer takes all that beautiful unified data and analyzes it to find patterns, predict what a customer is going to do next, and decide on the single best action to take to help them. This is what moves marketing from being reactive to being proactive.
And finally, you need the hands. This is the activation layer. These are the marketing automation platforms that take the instructions from the brain and deliver the actual personalized message, or the offer or the experience, across any channel you can think of: email, website, mobile app, and do it at scale.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how. Now for what might be the most important part. What can you actually do to get started on this journey? Let's break it down into a simple, actionable roadmap.
Here's a simple 4-step plan. First, you have to get your data in order. That is absolutely non-negotiable. Second, don't try to boil the ocean. Start with a few small projects that can deliver big, quick wins. Third, you have to deeply understand how your customers actually interact with you. And finally, number 4, treat everything like an experiment. Test, learn, and optimize constantly.
But there is one final critical piece to this whole puzzle that has nothing to do with technology. You can have the absolute best tech stack in the world, but if your marketing team, your sales team, and your data team are all working in separate silos, it is destined to fail. The biggest barrier here isn't the tech. It's getting everyone aligned and working together as one team. So, we're going to end with this one simple question. After everything we've looked at, from the trust deficit to the massive ROI to the tech stack, it's the one thing you need to ask yourself and your team. Are you still talking to broad, generic segments, or are you finally ready to start a real conversation with an audience of one? The choice really will define your future success.